Welcome back, travelers. In this video we're going to go ahead and redo our NPC dialogue. Not necessarily redo it, but kind of expand upon it. We're going to branch it out. So what's going to happen is, as you see here in this little preview, I set up I duplicated these two NPCs or cubes. There's this little, I'm not sure what that is right there. I have to figure that out. But there's this gate here that I can't get past. So what we're gonna do is when we go to talk to this guard here, he's gonna say, you need to speak to the mayor. I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna walk away. And then I'm gonna go over here, talk to the mayor. I'm gonna learn how to spell because I put hello traveler. He's gonna tell me to be careful, and then I'm gonna go back, talk to the guard. He's gonna tell me that we got permission and that the forest is waiting. And then when we come back, the gate is open, gone, and we can go through. Granted, nothing happens right now, but it's something, right? So let's get started. So this is where we left off in your town in the last video. We were back in the dungeon, fixing things up with the camera, but we actually need to move that too. So let's do that first. So in your dungeon, let's go ahead and grab your rig here, press Control D on the keyboard to duplicate it, and then we're going to select this camera rig 2 and camera 3D by holding shift and selecting them. Press Control X to cut them, and then we're going to go into town, paste them in, and just move them into place where we need them. Let's see. Something about like that. Let's make sure that on our camera rig we assign the player to it, and just test it out. Alright, we're good. So with that started, what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and rename this NPC. We'll rename him to guard, and we're going to go ahead and press Control D to duplicate him. Always duplicate if you're going to reuse an asset, but you want to make changes to it. I've found that if you just copy paste it, then it creates and then you modify the copy that you pasted, that it changes the original. And so we don't want that. We want to duplicate it because we want to be able to make changes, and we don't want those changes to affect the original copy. So next thing we're going to do is click on town. We're going to kind of just get things prepared a little bit. We're going to add a child node. It's going to be a node 3D. We're going to add that in. We're going to just scoot this all the way back here. Let's see. Let's move it over here to this middle one right there. That looks about right. And then in our file system, there is a gate. So if you search for gate, there it is, all gated. We can just drag this in, put it right about there, and drop that in there. Make it a child of the node 3D. With the node 3D selected, we're also going to want to add a child node that is a static 3D or body 3D. And on that, we're going to have to add a child node and make that a collision shape 3D. In our inspector of the collision, we're going to change that to a box sphere 3D. And all of that. Oh, okay. Whoops. Apparently that didn't. Oh, I see what happened. All right. Let's move our gate back to where it was. Should have been. And now you need to go back to where you should have been, right there. Alright, now we're good. Alright. Let's go ahead and increase the size of our collider. Let's try this again. Doesn't need to be perfect. We're just testing things out right now. As long as it covers the wall. Alright. That should be good for that. No, we need to change the name. We're going to change this name to Forest Gate. Like so. Because that name is going to be important for our code that we're doing. Alright. Now, go ahead and close out your search. And what we can do from there is... let's go to our scripts folder. And we're going to create in our systems folder. We're going to go ahead and just create a new folder for this. Because this, I don't know how long this is going to be. You know what? No, we're not. That's fine. Cancel that. Sorry about that. Right click, create. We're just going to create a new script. And we're going to name this StoryManager. And then let's go ahead and pop that guy open. From there, what we're going to want to do is open that up. And in here, what we're going to type is... Sorry, I needed to move the microphone a little bit. We're going to create a variable. It's going to be called story flags. And it's going to be a dictionary. And then we're not going to need these. What we are going to need is a function that's called set flag. And it's going to be flag string. It's going to need a string. The value that it's going to push is going to be a bool. Like default true. It's going to be story flags. I apparently pressed the insert key by accident. I'm going to create another one called get flag. And it's going to be flag string. And it's going to return storyflags.get flag false. Alright, so there's that one. Alright. Now that we have that set up, we need to make it a singleton. So let's go to project settings. And what we're looking for is this globals option right here. We're going to, under path, we're going to click on this folder. Now this folder is going to take us to our file system directory, basically. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to scripts, systems, click on this and press open. Now it's here, but it's not added in because there's nothing here in this window, right? This is just the path and then what it's going to be called. In order to add it as an actual singleton, we need to press this add button on the right. And now that that's all set up, make sure that that enable is checked and press close. Alright, from here, we should be able to just adjust the NPC some. We're actually going to need to create a second script, but that one won't be as hard. So we're going to modify this generic NPC script for the mayor to work with him. Typically what would happen is you would need, you know what? No, we're going to create a new one for each one. This guard 2 is actually supposed to be the mayor, so let's actually change that real quick. With mayor selected, go ahead and detach that script. And what we are going to do is we're going to create a new script. Make sure that it's saved in your NPCs folder. And it's your NPC scripts folder, sorry. It's going to be called mayor. Press press open and create. Now what I'm going to do is how do I want to do this? We're gonna need most of this, so I'm gonna actually just copy this here and paste it on the layer. Yeah, that'll work. And then we're gonna add a few things to it. So that export variable dialog. Default to that way if we forget to type anything in the dialog script in the dialog line, then it's there. Okay, what else are we gonna need? We're gonna need this story flag trigger, and by default we're gonna say mat guard, but we'll be changing it in the code, so I'm not worried about that. We won't need that right now. Why don't you like that? Because I forgot the equal sign. There we go. One more at export variable trigger on first talk false. Alright, we aren't gonna need this player nearby because we're gonna change it so that the NPCs handle the code directly as far as the interaction goes. Well, no, we are going to need that, but we're not going to be using it here in the world function, so we'll be deleting that a little bit later. Has trigger is equal to false. So we're going to need that. We need those 3 body functions. We need the on entered. Our on body exited is going to change a little bit. So we're going to say variable scene root equals, and the reason we're adding this here is because when we walk away, we're going to want it to, the dialog box to kind of disappear. So right now this is going to be pulling for the dialog UI, which is already in our scene. It's going to say if it finds it, so if dialog UI, then did I forget to do something? I sure did. I forgot to name this. This should be dialog underscore UI not insert equals, and I put, whoops, my bad. Alright, so that's what it should be. There we go. And here we're gonna say dialog UI dot dialog underscore box dot visible is equal to false. Dialog, whoops, is showing is equal to false. Okay. you don't like this for some reason. Why don't you like this? Scene root is not declared. That's because we haven't gotten there yet. Calm down. Alright. So. Alright. So what we're going to do is, since we're already here, let's just go ahead. Function. Interact. And we're going to say variable scene root equals get underscore tree dot get underscore current underscore scene variable dialog underscore UI equals scene underscore root dot get node dialog UI. So there's that. Yeah, I know. You don't like it. You don't like it because I think you need this part first. So process and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna say if the player is nearby and the input is action just pressed. I'm gonna try it with confirm. It didn't work in my tests. It made me use UI except for some reason, which is enter by default, and we have confirm set as enter. So, but I think it doesn't like it for some reason in this instance, but I'm gonna try to get it working. Alright, there's that. Oh, that's why it didn't like it, because it was still tabbed over. Scene root, what don't you like? Oh, because I put get node or get node or null. Did I spell scene root? No. There it is. Yeah, you're right there. Spelling is the same. Technically declared, but okay. I'll mess with you in a minute. Let's keep going. Alright, so let's finish up our interaction. We need to say if the story flag trigger. Now we're going to say does not equal empty, so it does not equal blank, right? We're gonna have the mayor say let's see. I did not mean to have these extra parentheses. We're going to say dialog underscore UI dot show. That's why. Okay. I realized what I forgot. We'll finish this up in a minute. We're going to have a lot of errors on this, and that's fine. Because we're going to, like I mentioned, we're going to control things through proper channels this time around instead of just having it all in the world script. So it's kind of like throwing some errors. But follow along with me, you're going to be good. What's happening is I ended up creating a separate UI script for the dialogue to help control the flow of things. And so it's looking for that, and I forgot to do that. So let's just, for right now, save it and go to our dialogue UI. Let's go to world UI and get rid of this first. What don't I need in the world UI? So what I don't need are these right here. And now I know I wasn't working in the testing because I had it's actually interact, not confirm. So this should be interact.